After meeting my girlfriend's parents, I scrolled through social media and came across a post by a blogger sharing the resume of an intriguing girl. The content was a highly educated, high-salary, and high-net-worth woman from a family with assets in the eight-figure range. I will be doing a live stream in my paid community teaching you how to win her over in just 30 days. There will be knowledge points and practical exercises ensuring you learn everything. The resume flashed by quickly, and although it was blurred, it instantly caught my attention. It looked so familiar. I don't know why, but I impulsively paid a membership fee of $399 and joined his paid group. Sure enough, the girl he was going to live stream about was none other than my girlfriend, Elizabeth. A few months ago, I started following the relationship blogger Jonathan's account. I heard his main job is in HR, and he's seen countless people, especially skilled at identifying women. At first, I just followed for fun, occasionally listening to him expose the manipulative tactics women use. But I didn't expect that after he started a paid community, I ended up becoming one of his paying users. As soon as I joined the group, I saw Elizabeth's resume. Although the photos and key information were blurred out, I had helped her revise that resume so many times that every word was familiar to me. Jonathan was on a voice chat in the group praising the resume's owner. Guys, she graduated from one of the top 5 schools, and now she's working at a Fortune 500 company. She's really impressive, right? I've interviewed her in person, and she looks good too. Honestly, she's the most promising new graduate we hired this year. Today is the first day we're opening the group, and over the next 30 days, I'll be live streaming my process of wooing her. I'll teach you how to analyze women and how to win them over step by step. The group cheered. A guy cautiously asked Jonathan, "What if the girl you like already has a boyfriend?" Jonathan chuckled. "Funny enough, this crush of mine already has a boyfriend. Don't worry, you guys paid a lot for this course, so I'll definitely teach you how to pry them apart." "Isn't it wrong to pursue a girl who already has a boyfriend?" Another student spoke up. For Jonathan, it's a new age. We men should go after the girl we like. Don't let outdated rules hold us back. Jonathan calmly explained, "If she's not married, there's no legal restraint. We shouldn't morally bind ourselves. Maybe she's already ready to leave the wrong person." Leave the wrong person? He sure knows how to make excuses for himself. I was actually curious to see how he would try to take my girlfriend away in front of me. Here comes the first lesson. Jonathan cleared his throat. "My crush's name is Elizabeth Lynn. Do you guys understand the significance of this name? I noticed her father's last name isn't Lynn. It's her mother's family name. This means she took her mother's surname, which shows her mom is dominant. My future mother-in-law will be tough. Make sure to take notes. This might come up in the test later." I was stunned. I didn't expect his analysis to be so spot on. A strong-willed mother will make her daughter crave control. On the other hand, taking away her sense of control will quickly grab her attention. I'll step away from the voice chat for a moment to demonstrate, then we'll go over the details in the text. Right after that, I heard my girlfriend's phone ring. The caller ID showed HR Jonathan. The phone rang 3 times and then disconnected. Elizabeth picked up the phone and muttered something before redialing, but the call went unanswered. Why is HR calling me all of a sudden? I start work in 2 weeks. Is there a problem? She muttered. Maybe it was a wrong number? I asked. Definitely not, she said. She kept redialing, but the call wasn't picked up. She seemed uneasy, leaving her phone on the table. Eventually, she couldn't even focus on the variety show and began typing a message. Half an hour later, Jonathan finally managed to get through to her again. This time she answered immediately. "Jonathan, I didn't hear the phone ring earlier." His laughter was light. "No worries, just confirming your start date. I had to go to a meeting when you didn't pick up." Her voice suddenly softened. "You're still in a meeting this late? You've really worked hard, Teacher Jonathan." After hanging up, Jonathan posted the chat log between my girlfriend and him in the group. A delayed phone call was enough to break her sense of control. Winning her over starts by stirring her emotions. Did you guys learn that? I snorted and looked up, only to see my girlfriend holding her phone, chatting seriously. My heart tightened. Chapter 2. I casually leaned on Elizabeth's shoulder. "What's keeping you so busy?" She immediately locked her phone screen. HR created a new employee group. Ugh, a bunch of bored people are egging HR on to share photos. Is HR handsome? She paused instinctively. He's okay, I guess. Jonathan never posted real photos of himself on social media, but Elizabeth's hesitation clearly indicated she was lying. Are there any handsome guys in the new employee group? Nah. I'll have to find you a couple's profile picture so no one starts thinking about you. I joked, wrapping my arm around her waist, but she pulled my hand off, looking a bit awkward. Domingo, don't. That's childish. I smiled, suddenly realizing that she didn't want anyone to notice how close she was to her boyfriend. Even without Jonathan, I had a feeling our 3.5-year relationship was already coming to an end. The next day, Elizabeth's parents invited us out for dinner. On the way to the restaurant, Jonathan sent a message in the group. My crush has had it easy all her life. Everything's been perfectly arranged for her by her family. The more smoothly a girl's life goes, the more she craves surprises. Today I'm going to surprise her with something. Everyone can wait in the group to see the result. As soon as we arrived at the restaurant, Elizabeth stepped out to take a call. When she returned, her face was full of joy. HR just called. The company is giving new employees a welcome gift, and only the most outstanding graduates get it. Elizabeth's mother smiled warmly. What gift is it? It's nothing valuable, just a company figurine. The important thing is the company's recognition. On Elizabeth's birthday, she asked me for a Tiffany necklace, but I didn't see her this happy back then. I lowered my head and checked Jonathan's group. It turns out he had also personally bought Elizabeth a Switch, but she had deliberately kept it hidden. One of the group members asked, "You're already giving such an expensive gift this early? What if you don't win her over?" Jonathan replied, "You have to look at it as an investment, my friend. You need to pick a stock with potential. Now you've impressed her with a few $100 while she's still inexperienced, and she'll remember it for a long time. The future return on this investment is huge." Then he shared a video of Elizabeth chatting with him in the group. In the chat log, Elizabeth sent a cute emoji saying thank you, but Jonathan said it wasn't sincere and insisted she say it out loud. Elizabeth then sent a voice message. I opened the video, held the phone up to my ear, and heard Elizabeth almost whining as she said, "Such a nice surprise. Thank you, Jonathan." The group members went wild. Jonathan is amazing. The goddess is acting all sweet. It's only the second day. I think she'll be won over way before the 30 days are up. Jonathan remained calm. Still early, still early. The real sign will be when she stops calling me teacher. Meanwhile, Elizabeth's mother suddenly spoke up. You're both graduating soon, and I've been looking at apartments for you. I thought I'd find one close to Elizabeth's work, so she doesn't have to commute too far. I casually responded, Thanks for all your help, Auntie. Elizabeth's mom smiled with satisfaction. I knew you'd be thoughtful toward Elizabeth. Such a good boy. Elizabeth didn't say anything in my defense. She just muttered while playing with her phone, You praise him more than you praise your own daughter. I smiled, but I couldn't help but admire Jonathan. Elizabeth's mother didn't like her previous boyfriend, and she liked me simply because I was patient and easygoing. Living near Elizabeth's work meant I'd spend 2 hours commuting every day. I didn't mind because I didn't plan on continuing this relationship for much longer. Before leaving school, I started looking for an apartment near my new office. Elizabeth, in perfect sync with me, didn't come to find me and spent her days watching variety shows at home. I spent a few days getting the apartment sorted, and finally, as I lay on my own bed, I felt at peace. Jonathan started sharing a new lesson in the group. Today I'm going to talk about how to spark someone's interest. Don't focus on what she does for fun, but rather what she truly desires. Take my crush as an example. Think about it. She grew up in a family with everything she could ever need. Her life was smooth, and she probably had access to the same things as any other elite kid. At 5, she learned piano. At 6, she learned English. As she got older, she spent her time at swimming, equestrian, and ice skating classes. Her life was packed with activities, but music and common sports Honestly, none of them could really catch her interest. So what has sparked their interest? Listen up, girls, it's excitement. Next, Jonathan shared a few photos from a racetrack, circling other people's scores as his own, and posted an update. A few seconds later, Jonathan screenshotted the post and shared it in the group. In the screenshot, Elizabeth was messaging him about racing. "You're so cool. Take me with you next time." Jonathan sent an excited emoji in the group.
See?
Instant reply. Meanwhile, a few hours earlier, I had posted a status complaining about how exhausting moving was. Even Elizabeth's friends commented, asking when I was moving, but she didn't respond to me. A member asked Jonathan, "What about mama's girls? You know, the ones who always listen to their moms. Can they be targeted?" Jonathan analyzed the situation and reminded everyone that the key to breaking a mama's girl was getting her out of her mother's control zone. Then he bragged, "I've already convinced my crush to change her job location. She's coming to my city." Reading this, I couldn't help but call Elizabeth. When her lazy voice came through, I wondered whether she would tell me on her own. "Elizabeth, I start my job next week." "What are you up to?" "Watching a variety show with my best friend." "What else?" A few minutes earlier, her best friend's boyfriend had messaged me asking if Elizabeth and I wanted to join them for a late-night snack. I paused for a moment, then finally asked, "When do you start?" She answered casually, "I forgot. I'll check in a bit." There seems to be some adjustment with the company's start date, so I'm not sure how it's being handled yet. It turned out that we had reached a point where each day required more lies to fill the gap. "Elizabeth," I paused, speaking seriously, "if one day you stop liking me, can you just tell me honestly?" The silence that followed felt so long that I thought time had frozen. "What nonsense are you talking? If I didn't like you, why would I have you meet my parents? Stop overthinking things." Suddenly, I couldn't stand her carelessness anymore. I whispered, "Let's break up." Elizabeth refused to admit there was anything wrong with our relationship and disagreed with breaking up. She asked to meet and talk things through. Ironically, the first place I saw my own accident was in Jonathan's group. Come on," she complained to me about her boyfriend being clingy and insecure. How should I respond to this? Everyone helped me out. The members of the group immediately sensed some gossip in the air. For those of you trying to steal her away, don't miss this rare golden opportunity. I'll send you my chat log. I recommend you all study every word carefully. Jonathan first complimented her, saying that of course her boyfriend would feel insecure because she was so outstanding. Then he played the victim, claiming he was too busy and didn't have anyone to cling to. Finally, he generously offered that she could share any troubles with him and that his arms would always be open for her. Elizabeth also took the opportunity to send an ambiguous hug emoji. I stared at the chat logs, watching Elizabeth being led step by step by him, and I felt nothing but disgust for her foolishness. As promised, I went to meet Elizabeth to talk about breaking up. But instead of seeing her, I found her parents and a whole room of relatives. It turned out that she didn't want to talk about breaking up at all. Instead, she was using her father's birthday to force me to back down. "Domingo, come sit next to Andy. Why didn't Elizabeth come with you?" I was awkward and could only call her. But her phone wouldn't connect. "This child. Why is her phone off?" Lynn's mom muttered. I opened Jonathan's group with a hint of suspicion. It turns out he had posted in the group the day before that he had gone on a business trip to my crush's city and was planning to take her on a weekend getaway to the suburbs. His words were blunt. Like I said, girls who are always well-behaved secretly crave thrilling experiences. Give her a little sense of guilt, and she'll complain with her mouth, but her body will tell the truth. I heard she skipped her dad's birthday party to sneak out with me. I originally said 30 days, but I was too conservative. This girl, she's pretty clever, huh? Afraid of getting caught, she just turned off her phone.
Haha.
Anyway, I'm off now, going on my date. Domingo, where did Elizabeth go? I can't get through to her. Is something wrong? Lynn's mom sounded worried, but I didn't know how to explain to her. It's so late, and everyone is here. Should we just wait for her? Elizabeth's father, who usually spoke very little, also seemed a bit uncomfortable. Elizabeth's cousin suddenly asked, "Uncle, when is sister going to City C?" "I'll go with her." City C? Lynn's mom looked confused. "Don't you know? She said she was going to start at the branch office in City C." "That's impossible." Lynn's mom turned to me, but I lowered my head. "Domingo, is this true?" "Elizabeth didn't discuss this with me." Lynn's mom's voice trembled, and one hand pressed tightly to her chest. Just as I noticed her face turning pale, she suddenly collapsed to the ground. "Call an ambulance." The birthday party was instantly thrown into chaos. No matter how much I tried to call Elizabeth, I couldn't get through. In desperation, I sent Jonathan a message in the group. "Jonathan, get Elizabeth to pick up the phone immediately right now. Something happened at her house." The group members began popping up with questions, but Jonathan remained silent and kicked me out of the group. I had no choice but to call Elizabeth's best friend, asking them to help find her while I helped Uncle Lynn with the procedures. Half an hour later, Elizabeth finally returned my call. "Domingo, I know I was wrong, but you shouldn't have gone around telling people my mom was in trouble." "I wasn't lying. Your mom is still in surgery." "How could this happen?" Elizabeth's voice was filled with panic. Chapter 5. Lynn's mom's health had never been great, and these days she had been busy showing Elizabeth apartments, going out early and coming back late. She had thought that once her daughter started her job, she could finally relax. But unexpectedly, she suddenly heard that her daughter had decided to work out of town without even discussing it with her, which caused her to have a heart attack. Thankfully, we reacted quickly and arrived at the hospital in time. Lynn Uncle, who had been a decisive leader at his company for half his life, thanked me dozens of times today. "Thank goodness you were here, Domingo. You've helped me a lot. Elizabeth really can't be relied on." "Have you been able to reach her?" "Yeah, she's on her way to the hospital." Elizabeth's phone rang again. "Domingo, there's heavy traffic. I'll be there in about an hour and a half." "How's my mom?" A cold male voice interrupted. "Elizabeth, don't worry. Your mom is a blessed person. She will be fine." I was already irritated by that unbothered voice. "Are you a doctor or a fortune teller? Just because you say it's fine, does that make it true?" Stop barking from the sidelines. "Domingo, don't be angry. This has nothing to do with Jonathan. I'll explain everything to you in person." "Jonathan." I let out a sarcastic laugh. "Elizabeth, you must still be in the dark. Why don't you ask Jonathan what he's done?" I angrily hung up the phone. Lynn Uncle had been listening nearby, clearly hearing everything. He clenched his fist, his face turning pale with anger. "Elizabeth." Lynn Uncle cleared his throat before continuing. "I won't let her act recklessly." An hour later, Lynn Mom had completed her stent implantation and was transferred to the CCU for observation. Elizabeth had finally arrived outside the hospital room, leaning on her knees, gasping for air. "Domingo, how's my mom? Did you say something to upset her?" Before she finished speaking, Lynn Uncle slapped her across the face. Elizabeth couldn't keep her balance and collapsed to the floor, staring blankly at her father before lowering her eyes.
"I'm sorry, Dad."
"Let me explain. Today there was an event for new employees in the suburbs, and they suddenly called us in. My phone died on the way, and I didn't expect something would happen to Mom." Her voice grew softer with each word. "You ungrateful brat. You think you've grown wings? You think you can make your own decisions now without needing us to look after you?" "I didn't, Dad." Elizabeth didn't dare meet her father's eyes. She got up and grabbed the hem of my shirt. "Domingo, please help me explain." I ignored her and turned to find the doctor to learn about her mother's condition. I was told that Lynn Mom needed 72 hours of observation in the CCU, and Elizabeth immediately started trying to convince Lynn Uncle to go home. "Dad, you're not in good health either. I'll stay here with Domingo. Don't worry." I shrugged off her hand and looked at her coldly. "I have things to do, so I won't stay." "Elizabeth, don't forget we've broken up. I've done enough for you." I politely said goodbye to Lynn's uncle and turned to enter the elevator. Elizabeth hurriedly chased after me. "Domingo, how can you leave me alone? Don't be like this. I can explain everything to you." When I heard that Elizabeth's mom was hospitalized, my parents suggested coming from out of town to visit her. After all, you've been together for so many years, and Elizabeth's mom has looked out for you. She even mentioned during the National Day that she wanted to meet and talk about your engagement. That was when I realized I hadn't told my parents about the breakup. Mom, you don't need to visit her. We've already broken up. There was a brief silence on the other end of the phone before my mom sighed softly. Son, are you feeling upset? You've been together for so long. It must be hard to let go, right? I suddenly felt a lump in my throat. I was the one who broke up with her.
Mom, I'm fine.
She's not good enough for me. Well, if she's not good enough for our son, then we don't need her. After all, marriage is a big decision and should be made carefully. My family wasn't wealthy. We didn't have 8-figure assets. I wasn't like Elizabeth, whose life had been smooth sailing and without any hiccups. But my parents respected my feelings and taught me to love and respect myself. I didn't think my life was worse than Elizabeth's. Although I hadn't agreed to let my parents visit Lynn's mom, they still came the very next day. They didn't ask me why I broke up with Elizabeth, nor did they bring her up again. They only asked me to be their guide and show them around before I had to go to work. When we stayed indoors, my mom would go to the nearby morning market early, picking out the freshest vegetables to make a large spread of food. She wouldn't rest until I'd gained a few extra pounds. That day, just as I placed the hot clay pot of soup on the table with my oven mitts, I heard the doorbell. I thought my bubble tea had arrived, so I opened the door and let the delivery person leave it at the entrance. But unexpectedly, the person didn't leave right away. Domingo. A hoarse voice came from behind me. You really moved out on your own? My mom called from the kitchen. Domingo, the fish is done. You can bring it to the table. I quickly shoved Elizabeth out the door and slammed it shut behind her. How did you find me? She seemed not to hear my question and asked instead. Did your parents come? Why didn't you tell me? I looked up at her, and she sighed softly. Domingo, you haven't replied to my messages or answered my calls. I've been going crazy trying to find you. Why did you rent a place without telling me? My mom had already found us a place. Elizabeth's face was covered in sweat, her clothes sticking to her body in a disheveled manner. I had only mentioned the neighborhood I rented to her best friend. I had no idea how she found me. Is that all you came here for?
No.
She wiped the sweat off her face. Domingo, I came to ask for your forgiveness. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have changed the job location. I shouldn't have gone to that new employee event. I know I was wrong, but I'm not beyond redemption. You can't just break up with me like this. I calmly looked at her. Elizabeth, the company has informed me that I'm being transferred out of town for a year. I leave next week. What? She grabbed my wrist tightly. Where are you going? When will you come back? Did you agree to this with the company? Why didn't you discuss this with me first? Her voice was raised in anger. Are you angry? She paused, her breath catching. I looked at her, seeing how foolish she looked, and I found it almost laughable. Go home. The food's on the table, and it'll get cold if we don't eat soon. I turned and went back to my room, closing the door behind me. The person outside stood there for an unknown amount of time before finally leaving. A few days after officially starting my job, my parents had to return to their hometown. Before leaving, my dad couldn't help but remind me, don't rush into finding a girlfriend. We're not pushing you to get married. But when you do, make sure it's someone who treats you well. I nodded repeatedly. Don't worry, I've got it all figured out. It was only when I entered the workforce that I realized the things I learned in school were practically useless. The only way to keep up with my colleagues was to keep learning. At 8 p.m., I was hunched over, my neck stiff, being pushed down the elevator by a crowd of people. I was really glad I hadn't moved near Elizabeth's office. If I had, the long commute would have likely broken me by the time I got home. As soon as I stepped out of the office building, I was stopped by someone dressed in a bulky bear mascot costume. I thought to myself it must be tough to wear something so hot for advertising in this weather, so I casually took the balloon he handed me. He waved his hand at me and made a heart shape with his fingers. For the next several days, I kept running into the bear mascot downstairs. Strangely, every day he would hand me the last balloon. One day, I saw a girl asking him for a balloon, but He didn't give her one. It wasn't until I saw several balloons arranged on the ceiling in a row in my room that I noticed each pink balloon had faint white English characters printed on them. S-R-O-Y-R. I rearranged them and realized it spelled sorry. Could it be Elizabeth? I replayed the details of the bear mascot's interactions with me in my mind. Every time I took the balloon from him, he would make a heart gesture and wave goodbye. Could it really be Elizabeth? The next day, I intentionally didn't stay late at work and left at 6 p.m. To my surprise, the bear mascot was already waiting downstairs. This time she didn't have a balloon, but was holding a small box. I pretended to walk past quickly, moving by, but the bear mascot chased after me. Her outfit was so heavy that after a few steps, she lost her balance and fell to the ground. Domingo, don't go. She finally couldn't hold back and called after me. Elizabeth took off the cumbersome headpiece, her hair sticking to her face with sweat. Domingo, please don't go. I bought a cold soda and sat with Elizabeth by the side of the road. She carefully handed me the box. It's for you. I didn't reach out to take it. She stubbornly pushed the box closer to me. You really won't take me back? I nodded, and her hand fell away. Elizabeth, I softly called her name. The truth is, I really liked you before. You were exactly the kind of person I liked, with just the right look, the kind of family I envied. I thought among all my classmates, anyone could break up, but we'd definitely grow old together. We will, she quickly replied. I smiled. But unfortunately, you just didn't love me enough. I'm sorry, Domingo. Elizabeth lowered her head, sweat dripping from her forehead. I admit I knew Jonathan had feelings for me. Everyone in the group said he was handsome and praised him. He liked me and I got a little carried away. I don't know why, but there's this energy in him that I've never seen before. It just draws me in. But Domingo, believe me, I never thought of breaking up with you, and I never thought of being with him. We've been together for 3.5 years. We know each other too well. I just got distracted for a bit, and now you're pushing me away. Don't you think that's really cruel to me? I stared into Elizabeth's eyes, seeing the pure foolishness in them. I felt no regret in my heart. Elizabeth, love is actually quite fragile. If you don't protect it carefully, it can be easily destroyed by someone else. Today it was Jonathan, but tomorrow it could be someone else. Before leaving, I plan to give her one last gift for her growth. Do you know Jonathan has a social media account? It's under his own name. Look it up before he deletes everything. And the day your mom had the accident, I told him early on, but he didn't tell you. Chapter 8. Perhaps it was Jonathan's social media account that shocked Elizabeth. After that day, I never saw the clumsy bear mascot downstairs at the office again. After 3.5 years of a failed relationship, work filled the emptiness in my life, and my days went on in an orderly manner. It wasn't until one day that I received a call from Elizabeth's mom. We agreed to meet at a cafe near Elizabeth's villa. Lynn's mom didn't know that it would take me an hour and a half by taxi from the company, and the one-way fare alone cost over $100. She had long been used to the way I used to revolve around her daughter. Lynn's mom, still recovering from her serious illness, had a slightly pale complexion. When she saw me, she maintained that elegant but cold smile. Domingo, please sit down. I've ordered the signature orange-scented latte for you. Would you like something to eat as well? No, thank you. She took a small sip of her coffee before slowly speaking. I heard from Elizabeth that your parents came to visit not long ago. Unfortunately, I was still in the hospital at the time and couldn't meet them. If I had known, I would have made sure to properly host them. Domingo, next time please let me know in advance, all right? I directly refused. Auntie, there's no need for that. After all, Elizabeth and I have broken up, and there's no need to involve both families. Lynn's mom's expression paused for a moment, then she smiled gently again. I know about you and Elizabeth. Listen to Auntie. Whether it's love or marriage, don't be too harsh on yourself. An outstanding woman will always have men around her. Are you going to throw away your cake just because a fly landed on it? Seeing that I didn't respond, she continued, I know you're a good kid, and you've treated Elizabeth well all these years. I've seen it all. Honestly, Auntie likes you very much and doesn't want to see you two just drift apart. Don't worry. I've already found her another company, so she won't be going to City C. Also, the man named Jonathan, I've met him. Don't worry, he and Elizabeth won't have any more contact in the future. Saying that, Lynn's mom picked up a black gift bag from the floor and handed it to me. Inside, I could faintly see the logo of Blancpain. Auntie knows you're feeling wronged, but I won't let you suffer in vain. I repeatedly waved my hand, rejecting her gift. That wasn't a watch worth tens of thousands of dollars. That was my dignity in front of her. Don't think I'm being tacky, Domingo. Let's be realistic. You, a young man from out of town, want to settle in this city. It's not easy. Without Elizabeth, you'll find it hard to find a girl with her qualities. Annie saw that you've been together since university, and you've been in love for so many years. It's not easy. Elizabeth truly cared for you. For you to just drift apart like this, it's a shame. I smiled and met her gaze. Auntie, no matter how expensive the cake is, I won't take it as if it's been stung by a fly. Lynn's mom's face darkened. And over the years, you probably never noticed, but I'm actually lactose intolerant. I don't drink lattes. I politely said goodbye to her and spent another $100 on a taxi back home. The fare was a bit painful, but at least it was the last time. Chapter 9. After Jonathan kicked me out of his paid community, I stopped following him. One day, however, several of his students suddenly added me as friends. After asking, I found out that not only had he kicked me out of the group, but he had also dissolved the entire group. Everyone was trying to contact him to request refunds and defend their rights. Jonathan's account stopped updating completely, and he began playing dead. No response, no acknowledgement. One angry student dug up various comments and timelines from the group, edited them into a video, and posted it online. Famous HR from a well-known company. Old bull eats young grass, relentlessly flirting with a girl who's already in a relationship. Beware young female graduates. The world is dangerous. You're walking straight into the trap of a top-tier predator. One video after another, along with explicit chat logs, were posted, quickly becoming a trending topic. The comments section exploded. Disgusting. Knowing she has a boyfriend and still flirting, that's totally shameless. The company is hiring, not picking a bride for him. This person has no moral boundaries. Good people get deceived by this kind of manipulative guy. So tragic. Girls aren't innocent either. When someone gives her such an expensive gift, don't they know the intention behind it? Yeah, talking about her boyfriend in the middle of the night. I'm about to throw up. Then sending hug emojis. Clearly not a good person. How about we lock up these scumbags and bitches so they don't go out and ruin the world? As everyone kept criticizing, Jonathan's account was suddenly banned. A few days later, a video of Jonathan went viral again. The footage was shot with a telephoto lens, blurry and shaky. According to those in the know, Jonathan had been cornered outside his company, and someone had forced him to kneel and slap himself. From that blurry footage, I vaguely recognized Elizabeth's mom's figure. I couldn't help but admire Jonathan's ability. After all, he had once said in the group, "My future mother-in-law won't be easy to deal with." The refund-demanding students tracked down Jonathan's employer, and the complaint letter was sent out as a mass email to all employees. The company issued a public announcement overnight, stating that they had terminated their contract with Jonathan. They would continue to investigate the matter, and if any violations were found, they would hold him accountable. A few days later, an overseas travel blogger suddenly reposted Jonathan's video. The internet truly has no memory. The man who once caused trouble in our marriage as the little third party is now pretending to be a relationship expert. Laughable. Everyone, keep your eyes open. This person's worldview is seriously warped. Do not let him cause more harm. The travel blogger used the opportunity to rant a bit, but after his wife bought a new Porsche 911 and handed him the keys, he posted a new update signaling he was done. Past is past. Forget it. Let's not talk about it anymore. No wonder Jonathan had once said in the group that he was looking for potential stocks. Turns out he had tried to find a mature benefactor, but couldn't compete with the original partner. Looks like everything has its match. Chapter 10. Although Elizabeth wasn't innocent, She became a semi-victim in the storm surrounding Jonathan. Her family's 8-figure assets were enough to allow her to live a smooth-sailing life, but they couldn't help her weather the storm of public opinion. Originally, she was a top pick for major companies right after graduation, but now she could only settle for a job at a small company owned by someone from the Lin family circle. 3 years later, I had saved up some money in the city, and with my parents' help, I could afford a small down payment on a house. The day I received the deed to the house, I suddenly remembered the Blancpain watch Lin Mom had pushed toward me. She was right. If I had married Elizabeth, it would have been much easier for me to establish myself in this city. But without Elizabeth, I was doing just fine. Among the new graduates, there was a tall, fair-skinned girl. When she was being difficultly handled by a partner, I spoke up for her, and since then, she kept trying to invite me to dinner. I didn't mind the age difference. When she invited me for the 3rd time, I didn't refuse. As soon as I sat down, I heard a familiar voice behind me. I turned around and met Elizabeth's gaze. I gave her a polite smile and then turned back to order myself a salad. Their conversation drifted over to me from time to time. The guy's voice was deep, but his questions were very blunt. Aren't you from a top 5 university? Shouldn't it be easy for you to find a job? Why are you at such an unknown company? I heard from your introducer that your family is rich. How rich are they? Don't think I'm prying, but a house in a big city costs millions, right? If we get married, will the house deed have my name on it? Will I have to pay the mortgage? Would you mind going for a premarital checkup with me? I didn't dare to look back at Elizabeth's face. In the matchmaking market, no one cared about her feelings or preferences. She was just a set of numbers. The young girl across from me kept talking about random topics. I realized she was talking about her boyfriend, who was still in his sophomore year. I regret it. I shouldn't have dated a younger guy. He's too immature sometimes. We're not even on the same wavelength. But sometimes I feel like we really click. Don't you think so, Domi brother? It was almost laughable. At that moment, Jonathan's words echoed in my mind. She still has a boyfriend but would go out to eat with me alone, even confiding in me about her feelings of riding a donkey to look for a horse. I finished my meal without showing any reaction, wiped my mouth, and leaned back. Helping you earlier was purely from a senior's care for a junior. Whether it's you or anyone else, I would have helped. Don't casually complain about your boyfriend to others. If you have a problem, you can solve it privately. I'm actually not interested in your life. I stood up to pay the bill. And by the way, just call me by my full name from now on. Behind me, Elizabeth was still tiredly handling one sharp question after another from the guy. The young girl probably remembered the tenderness of her boyfriend and replied to the messages he had sent her earlier. As for me, I would still wait for my own kind of affection.